Megyn Kelly breaks Bill Maher, gets him to agree with the criticism about Joe Biden. I know, guys, I couldn't believe it either, all right? Because we all know Bill Maher, or as I like to call him, TDS Bill, Trump Derangement Syndrome Bill. He's always just ranting and raving about Trump. He can't get enough of the Trump hate. Even on the rare occasion where he does point out the left is crazy, he'll say, but Donald Trump is even crazier, insurrection, or, something to that effect. With all that being said, on the rare occasions where he does agree with Trump, we appreciate it. And you know what? Like it or not, the reality is there are a lot of people who maybe consider themselves more moderate or center or independent-minded who really like Bill Maher, listen to him, and value what he has to say. A little strange, but, it is what it is. So we're gonna get right into it, guys, and it's gonna be a good video, all right? You're gonna like this one. But first, everyone, yes, you know where it's going. Please make sure you like our video, share it around, and subscribe to the Resist the Mainstream YouTube channel. Why subscribe? Well, guys, I don't know about you, but I want to see more of TDS Bill on both the good days and the bad days. Both are entertaining or interesting for different reasons. So let's do it. We'll keep them coming. As always, I'm your host, Darian. Let's get into the show.
Did you see that Biden speech at Morehouse College?
No.
It's a black college, and they gave him an honorary degree. It's where MLK went.
This is when?
Just this past weekend. So they gave him an honorary degree, and he did, gave a speech. And first of all, the fact that they're giving an honorary degree to Joe Biden, who's like, the list of racist comments that guy has made is as long as Santa's scroll, but okay, fine. So they got him to speak there. They made him feel good about himself. And then, do we have it, you guys? I think we have a bit of a soundbite of him, or we're pulling it over. But it was the most pandering, absurd picture of blacks in America and the present day and America's relation to our black population. It was absolutely disgusting. It was like he was trying to stir up racial hatred right there live, to the point where a couple of the black students turned their backs on him, which was pretty extraordinary. And he does it all the time, right? I'll show you the soundbite as soon as you get it cued. But
well, Democrats,
this is not unusual.
Democrats should be asking themselves, why does Trump each election do better, not worse, with minorities and immigrants? Not worse, better. Did better in 2020 than 2016 and seems to be doing better this time. That's a question Democrats really need to look in the mirror and ask themselves. And with the immigrants, I think I know the answer. I'll save them the trouble. Immigrants don't like it that the left seems to have this unrelenting negativity.
I think another question that the Democrats need to look in the mirror and ask themselves about is why they are so economically illiterate. I mean, have you guys seen Joe Biden's economy? The inflation is out of control. We have a record high unemployment rate at the moment. And Joe Biden and the Democrats, meanwhile, are talking about how great it is and they've actually fixed the economy and made it better. I don't know how they got to that conclusion, but that's okay. Speaking of that inflation, guys, that is exactly why I've decided to partner with Goldco. All right, you can invest in gold or any other precious metal with Goldco, and I really recommend you do it. Why? Real simple. As the value of the dollar has historically gone down, the value of gold has increased. In other words, it can be a great hedge against inflation. So check it out. Go to rtmgold.com, guys. You can go to the link in the description or type in your web browser. Once again, that's rtmgold.com. You can roll over your IRA or 401k, penalty and tax-free. rtmgold.com.
The country that these immigrants work so hard to get here.
Good point.
They really worked hard to get here. And when Trump says, I think a lot of them are going, yeah, you're fucking right. It's a hole where I came from. Why do you think I got on the ocean on a raft or walked 1,000 miles? Because I was living in paradise? There are places that are in this world, and the immigrants know it. And, it's not corny or conservative to say that to acknowledge that you're lucky if you're living in this country at this moment in history.
Yeah.
It's totally true. And I will say, read the immigrants thing. So Maher says immigrants, so presumably he's talking about people who are in America legally and did things the right way. I've noticed that illegal immigrants are far more ungrateful in general. It's not all of them, okay? Some of them are good people too, obviously. But the point is, I'll see people who say, oh, I hate America, it's such a racist place, blah, blah, blah. I'm loyal to X and Y country. And I just want to say, okay, then get the hell out. Why are you even here? But then people who have done it legally, much more often from my experience, are very grateful to be here. They know what they came from. They know how much harder they had it before. They know all the great stuff and opportunity America has to offer. And they're grateful that they, after going through this grueling process, that they actually were able to get in and, in many cases, live the American dream. And you know what? That's a beautiful thing.
Well, it was a different message at Morehouse. Here it is. Watch.
You start a college just as George Floyd was murdered. and there was a reckoning on race, it's natural to wonder if democracy you hear about actually works for you.
Guys, whatever you do, do not go ahead and look up the original autopsy report that was done when after George Floyd lost his life. Don't look that up, guys, because it's chock full of misinformation and definitely doesn't suggest a different narrative to what's being discussed. All right? Do not look it up.
What is democracy? If black men are being killed in the street, what is democracy? You have to be 10 times better than anyone else to get a fair shot. Most of all, what does it mean, as we've heard before, to be a black man who loves his country, even if it doesn't love him back in equal measure? Well, that's my commitment to you, to show you democracy, democracy, democracy is still the way. If black men are being killed on the street, we bear witness. For me, that means to call out the poison of white supremacy, to root out systemic racism. I stood up for George Floyd's family to help create a country. We don't need to have that talk with your son or grandson as they get pulled over.
Democracy, democracy, democracy. Right. Is that why they just installed Kamala Harris, one of the most unpopular presidential candidates maybe ever? That's why they installed her in, because they believe in democracy and the Democrat process. Remember when they locked off the primary and wouldn't let anybody challenge Joe because, according to the party, he was good, he was mentally fit, and he was ready to go. No need for a primary contest. And then look what they did. Okay, now as far as Biden's ridiculous comment goes about how you have to work 10 times harder for the same result as a black person, yeah, I don't know about that. Check this out. This is Forbes' list for America's best employers for diversity. All right, check this out over here. And diversity right here clearly means diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI initiatives, lest somebody try to fact check me. It's right there. And here's the list, folks. So we've got Progressive, TIAA, PayPal, Edgewell Personal Care, Salesforce, all big companies here, guys. Blue Cross and Blue Shield, Intel, Ally Financial, Miami University, Procter & Gamble, American Express, Workday, Johnson & Johnson, another Blue Shield, Citigroup, Broadridge Financial, Brown University, General Mills, Accenture, and the list goes on and on and on. So DEI, all that means is no whites and no males, or at least a lot less of them, whether they're qualified or not, doesn't matter. By extension, that means putting more black people in. So yeah, do black people really have it 10 times harder? Apparently they don't in corporate America, so not sure what Biden's talking about. But I digress.
Oh, joy. That's his vision of life as a black man in America.
Yeah, it's anachronistic.
Right. See the one guy popping out from the back. It was almost like he was like, what'd you just say?
And it's not that there isn't still racism in this country, of course, and racist, just as there will always be criminals, there will always be racists, and we should always be mindful of that and do what we can to call it out. But it's a very different country than it was even 10 years ago. And to be telling black students that you have to be 10 times better to get ahead, that's anachronistic. That's not the case.
Well, guys, we're going to cut it off right there. But hey, I think we delivered, right? That is a case of TDS Bill maybe exhibiting a little less TDS than usual. Even he admits it. This racism problem in America, are there individual racists? Sure. But it's not nearly as bad as the left likes to pretend it is. In fact, not even close. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Seriously, we appreciate it. Please be sure to comment below. Let us know what you liked, what you want to see next. And also, subscribe to our channel, please, and check us out on X @ResistTheMainstream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and God bless.